Alright, hello everyone once again. I hope this is better. Gonna see exactly what this is like. We should have the beginning of the qualifying session here from Silverstone. I am Terra, and once again alongside me is Mr. Timo Brown. How's it going, Mr. Timo Brown?
Hello. It's going great. Today we are here for the ninth round, and we are at Silverstone, as you said, and it is a pretty classical track. Silverstone, of course, everyone will know Silverstone and probably have driven it a lot. It's a quite popular track. People tend to like driving here, and like it's basically because this track has a good flow to it. You have like lots of high-speed corners, and it's quite exciting driving here, and also it's exciting for the spectators because there are two major overtaking zones. So, I mean, you are in for some action if you're gonna have a Silverstone League race, and I hope that today is gonna prove that point once again.
Yep, absolutely right. We have Tipsy Bob going through Beckett's at the moment. Now, I have been working a little bit behind the scenes here to try and get replays on this channel in Tier 1, and I'm going to just test this now.
It's a league race, and I hope that today is going to prove that
hopefully
point
I will have gone
again.
to a
Yep,
replay.
absolutely
Right, we have Tipsy Bob going through Beckett's at the moment. Going now, I have been working a little bit behind the scenes here to try and get replays.
The stream
Let's
hasn't
fix that.
imploded. It's only
The stream did not implode. Oh, that's bad news though, because I can... Okay, well... okay. Turns out F1 is the button that gets the spectator menu up, and that's the button that I have it bound to. So I'm just gonna fix this a second. Let's have a look. Alright, so replay Tier 1, and I'm gonna just test this now.
It's going to be great, and I hope that today is going to prove Bailey's brain doesn't work anymore, apparently. Oh, are you currently replaying the replay?
Replaying the replay, yeah. That wasn't intended, but I'm no longer replaying the replay. So
just for fun, you should just press the button 5 times for a laugh to see what happens. Have a look into the void.
Well, that's the thing. I have to press F1 twice because otherwise I lose the spectator menu, and that's. Oh no, I can press X for that. Oh, that's fine. All right, that's fine. We're good. All right. So First part of this qualifying session, we've had Wow, Julian Coppi, Hugo's, Astro Boys, all in the 1 minute 26s along with Luigi. So good laps from all of those guys. We've got Hugo's maybe making his return on a more permanent basis at some point in the near future to Tier 1, but he's certainly here for this one, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes.
He's substituting in for Icewind, who's had a difficult past races. He's, I think he's quite unlucky. Gets into a lot of crashes that aren't necessarily his fault, so I don't know. He's taking a break this week, probably not because of that, but Hugos has taken the opportunity to jump into that alpha seat. Another thing worth noting is that Astro Boys looks like he might be on form. He's been beaten by Pretorius pretty consistently against the expectations. Like Astro was expected to be right at the front, but he had a little, he had tough last weeks, but for now he is just about out of Pretorius. They can at least take the fight to him.
Yep, absolutely right. We have Popo here as well, and Popo's had a strong couple of weeks, or strong few weeks, along with Danny, who's on a lap at the moment as well. Danny having a couple of excellent weeks, couple of podiums in a row for him. So he'll be wanting to go one better if he possibly can today. We're going to follow Popo, who's on his lap at the moment. He goes down towards Priory and Brooklands, this left-hander. Here it goes, late apex on that one. Nicely done. He's missed the first apex a tiny bit in Luffield, but he's just looked a little bit pedestrian, to be honest, from Popo there. He wasn't really using all of the track, wasn't really maybe pushing as hard as he could have. We'll see what effect that's had on the times. Here's Cops as he just about does that almost perfectly.
Just as I think I know all the corner names, you invent Priory. I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think Priory is actually a corner. Priory was a corner on the old Silverstone.
I knew you invented it, huh?
I think the long one is now just.
Oh,
called
it's where you
Brooklands.
rejoin onto the new layout, basically.
Yeah,
You
I
have
think
the old
so.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Ha!
so yeah, that's that one. I always get those two mixed up though.
The
But
future
yeah,
is
it is
now,
Brooklands,
old
I think.
man.
In any case, Popo is half a second up at the second split. He's going to cross the line now, and he's going to do a 1 minute 26.874. So good stuff from Popo.
Just behind Astro and Hugos, very close, the three of them.
Yep.
Also, Copy and Julian are very close to each other.
As Hugo decides to pit.
8 thousandths of a second actually between the two of them.
Yep,
which
absolutely
is
right.
insane.
Julian is just finishing his lap at the moment. Didn't see what the second split was, but he's going to cross the line very shortly indeed. And I suspect this might be good enough to put him up near the top of the leaderboard. Not quite. Wow, he just about improves. 0.045 on that one.
As implied by the soft tires that everyone is running, the strategy for this track is basically just straightforward soft to medium. Funny safety cars can have an impact on, oh wow, with a very good lap, 26.6. Safety cars of course can change the course of the race, so maybe you want a different strategy then, but in case there's no, like in case nothing really happens, the soft medium is what we're going to see from most of these runners, and we're not going to see anything from one runner.
Pretorius and Copy coming together in Beckett's.
Why is
we're going to hit the replay button on that one.
So
Julian retires, Ocean Chief retires. Let's see what happened with those two.
In case there's no
certainly, yeah, they
in
are,
case
aren't
nothing
they?
really
I don't know
happens,
exactly what happened there, but we're going to have a look
we're going to see
at
from
the crash
most of these
there.
runners, and we're not going to see anything from
Pretorius and Copy coming together in Beckett's.
Why is
we're going to hit the replay button. Yeah, absolutely right. So that's what we had just now, and unfortunately for Copy, that is the end of that particular qualifying lap, and Pretorius got sent into the fence there as well, and I think FIA might have something to say about Pretorius there as well.
Yeah, I'm afraid he'll probably get hit with a significant amount of penalty points because he just didn't really realize Copy was coming. Copy, well, he could have probably avoided the impact, but he just hoped until the last second that Pretorius would realize he's actually coming on a hot one and move aside, but he didn't, and it all ends in tears. So Copy couldn't complete this run, heads into the pits, and will try and recharge for a final attempt. 5 minutes to go in the session.
Yeah, and a couple of guys, I think, on the... I was going to say a couple of guys at the back on a hot lap. Oh, Bant's getting it very wrong out of Luffield and onto the old main straight. Looks like he might have just about got away with it though. Bantz is he on the medium tires or is he on soft? He's on the medium tires.
He's on the medium tires. That is interesting. I don't know why.
Yep, I don't know why either.
Maybe it's the Ferrari strategy or something. I don't know.
Put a 29.7 in with his first lap. That was on the softs. Bantz unfortunately also has the coronavirus. So okay, he doesn't actually have the coronavirus, but he is not very well. So he's been suffering a little bit over the last few days. So Bantz going into the pits. He didn't set a lap on mediums after all.
We're laughing now, but he's working in a hospital, so he'll be the first one to for all of us.
The double audio on replays is horrendous. Okay, that is a good thought.
Race, so maybe you want a different strategy then, but
we're gonna go
in case there's no, like in case.
Yeah, we're gonna go with sound off. Yeah, apologies. Yeah, I'm replaying the commentary. I'm sorry. There we go. All right. So hopefully that fixes that. We'll go with sound off on the replay. You'll continue to hear the live sound, just to give you an idea of what just happened.
Oh wow, Danny puts it in second with an amazing lap, and because Julian has already retired.
Julian and Ocean Chief made contact. That was what happened. That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. So
was it heavy enough to put both of them out of the session?
Oh, I would have thought so. I don't think they would have retired otherwise.
But like, when does that happen? Especially it was in the middle of Wellington Straight. It is Wellington Straight, right?
Yeah, Wellington Straight, absolutely.
like I saw both cars parked there, and they like retired with a little bit of a time frame between the two of them, so I don't quite get. I don't think both lost their tires. One might be wrong though. I don't know. Anyways, at the front it is really close. Wow, so far had the measure of everyone, but there's two drivers within a tenth of a second with him, and that is Danico, 66 thousandths of a second, and Julian, 85 thousandths of a second.
I mean, we did mention with Danny, didn't we, about his good couple of weeks, and he seems to be continuing his good form here at Silverstone. Second on the grid at the moment with a pretty good lap, a 26.7. And Popo on a hot one as well. Going to keep following Mr. Popo Gamer, I think, for the end of this lap. I think he's the only one of the front runners at the moment who's on a lap. He is fractionally down, 0.02 of a second down. So he goes into club. The last couple of corners here went a little bit deep into the first part. Looked okay though. Is he going to be able to get the power down quickly enough on the exit? He doesn't manage to improve. He loses a 10th in the final sector. So 2.5 minutes left on the session, and we have several cars now who are going to be leaving the pits for one final lap. And Copy about to start his lap. I think he's going to be the first of the top boys to put a lap in.
Two things I want to mention quickly. First thing, it is quite incredible that we have the top 10 are all within 3/10 almost. Luigi's slightly outside of that. So, I mean, we're very close right now. I mean, also Gary, who's just made the jump to no assists a few races ago, is on pace. He's within the 3/10 of WoW. And also another thing, we've got a new driver. Or I don't know, did he race last week, Cozzy?
Cozzy did race last week, yeah.
Okay.
He's not brand new, but yeah, he is relatively new. So Cozzy in P11 at the moment with a time that is only 6/10 off pole. That's how close the grid is here in SLR Tier 1. We're used to this sort of thing these days, but certainly it's worth mentioning that even down in P11, that is a pretty good lap from Cozzy.
Also worth a mention is the fact that Ocean Chief is within a second of pole.
Yeah.
A provisional pole, but still. I mean, he's driving with those new equipment. Maybe he has finally cracked the code to being quick, and that is pay to win. Microtransactions to fan attack for F1 performance.
Yeah, seems like it, doesn't it? It's these kids these days, or not kids in Ocean Chief's case, using everything they can to get ahead, but you know.
if it works for him, I'm buying a new Fanatec wheel and Frostmasters load cells. I'm sorry. Chief, $500 are on my bank account rely on the fact that you perform good or not today. This is what it comes down to, really.
So what do we have on the track at the moment? We've got Wow, who's on a hot lap. We've got a couple of people who didn't manage to do clean laps. Hugo's is also on a hot lap, trying to improve from his P5 at the moment.
And that Bans, we have him crossing the start finish line. He's put it in 13th, and apparently he just didn't get the memo about what soft tires are and why you should probably use them.
Yeah, he's still on mediums.
He stuck to his strategy, and I mean, P14, that could have been way better. I don't think it paid off in any way. I wouldn't see the benefit because the hard tires are so bad on this track that you just don't want to use them. It's they're atrocious.
Yep, they really are. So here comes Wow. He's nearly 2/10 up. Going to try and get a split from Hugo's as well. Hugo's he's a 10.5 down, but he doesn't look like he's. Yeah, no, he's abandoned, hasn't he? Wow, though, looks like he's going to improve from what was already pole position into an even better pole position. He crosses the line. It's a 1 minute 26.4.
Oh, boy.
Very good lap from Wow.
Amazing.
Copy is on a good one as well, though. 2/10 up on his best time so far. He's going to try and improve further in the final sector. He crosses the line and goes P2 on a 1 minute 26.5. And I think that's going to do it for most of this qualifying session. Costa is on one at the moment. I think he's the only one. Maybe Max is on one as well.
The two Toro Rossos are still flying, and Costa puts it in P11, and Max Bull's actually not flying. He has entered the pit lane, so we're gonna have to wait on him. Costa with a good qualifying performance, 6/10 off, and it still only puts him in P11. Cozzy is a very quick driver. I've seen that in VRL. I think he's the teammate of Danny Coe there, and like the two of them usually run very similar pace. It didn't come together right now, but like, I mean, there would also be things to expect from him. Light Cruiser all the way down in P13, Bascadinho P14. It just tells you how quick this session was.
God, just look at this grid. So Hugo's in P5, and Gary, and Luigi in P10.
Okay.
Separated by barely over a tenth.
Yeah, I just witnessed Costa losing a wheel after the session was done because he hit a stationary Williams.
Oh dear.
Which is always great. So I mean, if I look at these results, it's time for me to sandbag in Tier 2 because I don't want to accidentally get promoted into this. Don't want to be torn apart. That would hurt my ego. I shall stay in Tier 2.
Yeah, some very fast laps indeed. Wow, with a 26.4. And I believe, I'm just trying to think back to the last tournament that we did at Silverstone.
Yeah, Wow was
yeah, he was very quick there. I think my lap was, and I qualified third, I think. I think my lap was a 26.9, so I would have barely made the top 10 with that lap.
Fair, it is one-shot qualifying.
One-shot qualifying, yeah, that's true.
I mean, you probably had some time in that one, but still, I mean, you ended up winning the race. Also, it shows like the trajectory of everyone's pace. I mean, we're just getting quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And yeah, they're trying hard to find the ceiling, but so far, it has not been found.
Yep, absolutely. So we got a few people joining us in chat. Welcome everyone. We have Jensen in chat, who is has just won with his football team. So congratulations to Jensen. And yeah, Wow is fast here, absolutely. We got everyone picking their setup and picking their fuel and everything else at the moment. And Silverstone is one of those tracks where the penalty for taking a pit stop is extreme. It's such a long pit lane.
Yeah, it is true. So you really want to get through unscathed here. I mean, you always want that, but
yeah,
but like if you have to, I mean, for multiple reasons. First of all, because the early switch on hards will bring you to the end, but it's terrible. You don't want to. So if you lose your wing outside of your pit window, then you have a problem. And if you have to do an extra pit stop, then even if you're like one of the quickest boys, you'll drop right to the end of the grid. There's nothing you can do really. 26 seconds or something. I think it's 60 kph you go, and then it's a very long pit lane.
It takes forever. So yeah, 26 seconds. You absolutely don't want to be taking any more pit stops than you have to. No notice on the weather, by the way. We have not had any information about that. We assume that it's dry. It looks pretty bright out there at the moment, but you never quite know with the British weather in particular. Certainly if the last month has been anything to go by. We've barely had a dry day.
Sudden snowstorm. That was a European thing though. Also, interesting in this, I said it earlier, Pretorius and Astro, they are basically with each other. They have, I mean, Pretorius has outperformed Astro recently, but and he's just gotten the better of him, so maybe it's interesting to see who's gonna finish ahead in the fight of the two of them. So, yeah, some excitement there. Into turn one. I mean, turn one is, I don't know if it's really an overtaking spot, but if you manage to stay close enough, you can try something into the heartbreaking zone of village. You see some action there. Also, real life, sometimes things happen into there. So I mean, you might see a challenge from Copy in the start on WoW. It's just all about a good launch and then try and keep your foot down in turn one, keep it flat. on the fresh tires and maybe try and send one. So maybe Copy can have a shout here, but I'll leave this out to you.
Yep, here we go then. 5 lights, so we will have very shortly at Silverstone, and we are go! And it's difficult to see who exactly got a good start. It looked like a slow one from Wow, though it was a slow one from Wow. Copy leads into turn 1, and Danny as well sniffing at the back of the Renault, and Renault... Ocean is out already. What happened to Ocean Chief? In turn 1, and we have a VSC and another crash at the back. So NJJ, Astro Boys getting 5 seconds, both of them.
What is going on?
And spinning was Max. We're going to try, if we possibly can, to get a replay of exactly what happened there.
That was interesting. So, I mean, I think Luigi massively overshot turn 2. Or turn 3, rather. So, like, the first proper braking zone, but I don't exactly know what happened to the rest.
Yeah, I didn't see either. So that was the point at which the virtual safety car came out, and now the virtual safety car is back in. Wow leads them from Copy, and Danny is right on the back. Hugo's ahead of Julian as well as they head into Cops for the first time. Julian going to be looking at the back of that Alfa Romeo. He's going to want to clear him as soon as he can. Then come the 2 Mercedes. Both Pretorius and Astro Boys running in formation. Cozzy on the medium tyres in P8. He's had a very good start. Costa P9, Popo P10. We got some battling at the back with Bascodinho passing Gary heading out of the Beckett's complex. Hugo's and Julian very close to each other as they head up towards Club for the end of the first lap. Pretty clean so far in the racing part, at least. Not the first corner.
Gary drops some... Oh, Gary's gone into the pit lane. We also saw that Gary, I think, had a penalty, or Popo got a penalty for crashing into Gary. So there must have been massive contact there, and it forces Gary to go into the pits already. Which is exactly the opposite of what you really want. And Popo game is off! Popo's in the gravel out of turn 1. I don't know what happened there, but I don't think it... 10 seconds! So he's at 15 seconds of penalties already. I mean, you might as well just pack your things now and move on to Hockenheim.
Well, it depends if there was contact as Julian goes up the inside of Hugo's into Brooklands, the double left-hander, and he gets that move done, and Hugo's has to yield. So Hugo's now under pressure from the 2 Mercedes behind, as Wimpy, who's not a driver in this session, has left. He is crew chief for somebody, I think for Ocean.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's practiced things. For the reason that Ocean Chief did not survive turn 1. And now Joel finds himself in the weird situation that the guy who was gonna coach is already dead.
Yep, absolutely right. Cozzy and Costa P8 and P9 at the moment. Cozzy got a very poor run out of Beckett's there, and Costa will be passed easily before Stowe Corner. So the front 7 in formation, and a little bit of a gap to this battle here between Costa and Cozzy. Then a bit more of a gap to Bant, who's on the medium tyres, who quietly has had a very good start in that Ferrari.
Luigi's dropped a position to Max Pilz and is now heading into the pits. I assume he got overtaken because he has wing damage. And he gets a speeding penalty.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'm gonna check who got penalties, because I'm afraid they're 5-second penalties, so you have to serve them in the pits and they can't be taken off, unfortunately. So it is Luigi got 1, Popo got 1, Astro got 1, and Costa got 1. So that's very unfortunate, especially for Astro, because he's still running in P7, but he's gonna have to, he's gonna drop 5 seconds as soon as he makes his first pit stop, and that is going to be costly.
Certainly is. Julian passing Danny for 3rd place into Brooklands there on lap 3 with the DRS, which of course has just been enabled. Hugo's is trying everything he can to hang on to the back of the 2 cars ahead of him, and Julian has got a little bit of work to do to get back in the DRS of both Wow and Copy now as we come towards the end of lap 3. Julian with that substandard by his very high standards qualifying for, well, one reason really, which is that he collided with Ocean Chief. But trying to make his recovery drive here. Danny is on the back of him, of course, with the DRS. Julian doesn't have DRS, and I think he's going to find it a little bit difficult to get into DRS of Wow and Copy. We know how quick Wow is around here, and all Copy has to do is ride shotgun and stay exactly where he is at the moment. Fastest lap of the race from Julian, though, 1 minute 30.5.
Yeah, he's gonna try and burn as much ERS as he can to an efficient way to get up to those guys. As soon as it's gonna be in the DRS, he will try and prepare a move. We know that Julian oftentimes just tries to hang on and like drive information, and then tries to take victory through superior strategy and like a move in the pit stops. I think he did that at China, or at least I believe that's what happened. But so maybe that's a strategy. He's just trying to close the gap while the first stint is still there. Maybe then he tries to undercut his way into that fight for the victory between WoW and Copy, which isn't that much of a fight right now because you can see Copy is struggling to hang on to the back of WoW. So I mean he has to work to be in range of the Renault car.
Yep, he certainly does. This battle just behind Hugo's now out of DRS, so Pretorius is going to be, I think, quite aggressive this time by. He's going to have that tip to get 3 seconds. He's running in 2:13.
Someone saw? No, okay, never mind.
There's a puff of smoke there.
Oh yeah, that is
wide.
purple car. It's a Popo game.
Oh,
Popo's
having
causing.
a
Yeah,
nightmare.
Popo spun in turn 1, and he's like a solid minute off the lead. So
Yep, he's not
yeah,
having
he's hoping
a
for
fun
a safety
time.
car, I'm sure.
Yeah, he really needs a safety car as Popo, because otherwise his race is completely over.
Oh, he's still. Yeah, his tires must be at like 120 or something.
Oh dear.
He doesn't have any grip. Like the car wants to kill him as soon as he hits the throttle.
Pretorius right on the back of Hugo's, and almost touching the back there of the Alfa Romeo.
Lacruz on the inside of Cozzy. Bance has had a pretty good stuff for the fact that he has got an inferior tire compared to anyone else. And Lacruz has just pulled the mover off on Cozzy. Lacruz being on softs and Cozzy on mediums, so he used that superior grid advantage to get out of the ledge onto the Wellington straight and out-accelerated him here there. Now Vascadini is going to be all over the back of Cozzy, trying to follow his teammate through, keeping the McLaren train alive.
Yep, the medium tyres won't be as fast as the soft tyres just yet, so Cozzy struggling a little bit to stay with these guys. Vascadinho all over the back of him. Back up towards the front of the pack though, we got Hugo's again. He's going to be under pressure here from Pretorius, who got a slightly better run that time out of the Beckett's complex. Hugo's with the straight line speed though, but not quite enough to deal with the DRS, and Pretorius goes up the inside into Stowe corner. Good stuff from him.
I don't think Hugo's tried really hard. I only checked his telemetry by the end of it. Oh, side by side are Lacruza and Bance, and I think Lacruza has pulled a move off. Yeah, that Bance down into P10. Lacruza ahead, he's using the soft tires to full advantage, as Danico takes the fastest lap of the race, so he is currently the quickest car on track.
Yep, he's in Julian's DRS. Julian has managed to make his way into Copy's DRS as well, so these four now running in formation, then a 2.5 second gap to Pretorius behind, and then Hugo's and Astro Boys just behind Pretorius.
Speaking of running information, the two Mercedes are trying to... I mean, one of the Mercedes already made its way past the Alpha, and the other one is very close. Astro knocking on that door of the Alfa Romeo in P6. He tries... I mean, if Pretorius gets away here, I'm sure Astro will have passed Hugo's in an instant, but the problem is that then he's also out of the DRS and can't use Pretorius to follow.
Yep,
and
right.
Get towed up.
Wide there in Cops. I wonder if he will have gotten a warning for that one. Haven't seen any penalties so far from the boys at the front. They've kept it clean from what I've seen so far.
I just see Tipsy Bob and someone else. I forgot who it was.
Yep, I've forgotten who as well. But certainly no one in the top 7 I've seen get penalties. Apart
from Astro, of course, with this 5-second penalty, but that wasn't for track limits.
Not for track limits, That was for the contact. So Astro
maybe
Boys,
worth it. Sorry.
I was going to say Astro Boys unfortunately will have to serve that penalty in the pits when he pits, so he's going to be hoping for a safety car in the second half of the race, and he's going to be trying to build as much of a gap as he can from those behind.
Oh, as he goes sliding into turn 1, that was a very dangerous moment, and after that he's going to be happy that it's probably stolen the DRS window of Hugo's. That was almost game over for him. And I mean, like right now, if you add the 5 seconds that it's gonna cost him, I assume he would be behind Costa and ahead of Light Cruiser, which is still fine. He's got to get some points with that, but he would be out of that race towards the front. So you're right in saying that he probably will hope for a safety car to come up in the future as well, second stint, to mitigate the damage of that 5-second time penalty he's gotten for a collision with Gary. I assume Gary got like sideways and Astro couldn't avoid him. But he doesn't have damage, does he? Astro's car is completely fine.
Yeah, I think he's okay. He's certainly not shown that he's got damage with the pace that he's running at the moment.
Yeah, the end plates are all there. So that is very weird. How do you pick up a 5-second penalty with that, like, running into, like, without T-boning someone?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Gary hit him, but that wouldn't make sense given where they were on track at the time, as Hugo's makes a mistake there in Stowe. And we've got Bantz alongside Light Cruiser side by side, and Bantz, just give me a little squeeze there, a little bit of contact between the two of them.
He hooked his tyre in there. That was certainly spooky for Bantz. He must have thought that was it. Curtains closing, but it's fine for now.
Yep,
but Light Cruiser with a lot of overspeed. He's having a look on the inside, but of course you can't really pass there. You can't run side by side here properly, and the fact that he has to lift there gives Vance a little bit of breathing room, but probably not enough through village section. I mean, the tires, the soft tires will start to go right now, but I think Light Cruiser might be able to get a good run here. No, not really. It was wiggling on exit. And Vance should be safe for now. He's going to save himself into the next braking zone. He's defending, going to the inside. The McLaren on the outside. We've got yellow flags somewhere, but Light Cruiser hanging around the outside. Luigi has retired through left field. Vance is on the outside. Light Cruiser inside, going towards the start finish straight, and there's some wheel banging. Yes, Light Cruiser had to counter steer, and he counter steered right into Vance, and that gave Vance a little bump off track, and got Light Cruiser through. I mean, I wouldn't call it like an unfair maneuver. It was just very unlucky. But Light Cruiser had to catch his car there. Was running on board. I saw that, so no bad intent there. So Vance down into P10.
Yep, and this fight isn't over yet. Vance certainly with enough battery to make this one interesting as they head up. He's not using it though. The Vance obviously content to stick behind for the time being. Didn't see if he got any damage there. I didn't see any front wing off his car.
Julian is hanging on to DRS of Copy by a thread. He was temporarily out of it, but now he's within 9/10 of a second, and Copy has got the absolute edge on ERS. I think he could have attacked WoW, not early, but he's probably just trying to put like a hot lap in, on hot lap and overtake as soon as there's under or overcut. I think that's his plan to get into the lead right now, and it might be working as he's got 90% of battery while WoW has got 50, and Julian's got like mid-40s as well. But Julian back into the DRS as well as Danny. So
yeah, Copy of course has just been sitting in that DRS for the whole race pretty much of WoW. He's quite happy to be there. This is lap 9. We're going to start to see pit stops very soon. Light Cruiser did pit, got himself onto the medium tyres, and he's come out in P14. So we'll see in the next couple of laps where people start to come out having pitted. Danny is, I think, struggling to hang on to the back of those three up front, but still very good pace from the Ferrari.
Copy! I thought he was going to go for it because WoW left the door fairly open. Like he didn't go defensive at all, and now both of them are going to the pits. And a Copy, he almost gives him a bump over the line there. And that's the ghost. I think what happened there was that Copy might have seen in his mirror that Copy's must have seen in his mirror that Copy's car was clearly pointing towards a pit entrance, and suddenly he went in. It looked as though it was a reaction from him, because he's probably seen that move coming, that Copy tried to undercut him, and he's just blocked it with that. So that is his intervention, and he stays ahead obviously in that pit stop. Copy looking closer to Julian than to WoW now.
Yep, certainly is. Yeah, they're running in formation as they exit the pit lane. So the new race leader is this man here, Danny, in the Ferrari. Then we got Pretorius and Hugo second and third. All yet to pit, of course. Costa running up in P4.
I wonder how this is going for Danny, because I mean he's been undercut by everyone, but also he's still on, but also he's in clean air, so maybe maybe he can hang on to this. Maybe it's like an overcut, but I doubt it. I think he is he's a little bit in trouble. He has to drive his absolute best if he wants to stay within that DRS window. He struggled to stay in when they were still there. Now they are gone and he has to do it all on his own. Didn't use much DRS so far. Now he's draining the last bit of his battery, so it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out.
Yeah, it certainly is. Hugos and Pretorius as well are going to be suffering for this lap, but then they will have a slight benefit of having 1 lap extra on the or 1 lap less rather on the medium tyres. Danny does pit as expected. Pretorius gets 5 seconds, and so does Hugos. Oh dear. So a little bit of indiscipline from the two of them there. Hugos has run a pretty faultless race so far until that point. But he's got it all to do now.
That puts Astro back into the fight.
Yep, it certainly does.
With the difference that he has to service, or he already served his stop well. The other penalties will be added to the session time at the end of the race. So Astro technically still running with Pretorius and Danny. The problem being he is not going to be with them on track.
Yep, so Julian is there and Danny is coming out of the pits now. So yeah, he's not in DRS, so he lost about a second there to Danny. And Pretorius, oh, and Hugos lost even more time. So Hugos has gone behind, all the way behind Max Split. So didn't see exactly what happened, Max Spilts rather, didn't see exactly what happened to Hugos, but he lost time to Pretorius as well.
And the impact the 5-second time penalties have is insane. I mean, if you do a little bit of maths, you like getting a 5-second penalty for no time gain at all is like being 2 tenths slower in pace basically, and that makes such a difference if you want to fight at the front. And we've got a spinner, and that is I think Costa. Yeah, Costa spun out of P13 in Brooklands. He's dropped behind Bascadinha, so the McLaren goes past him. Costa's struggling. Max Spilts hasn't pitted yet, so he's still in the top 10, but he's going to drop out there soon. It's actually giving Hugos some DRS right now, which he needs because he's dropped way back from Pretorius, who he was fighting before the pit stops.
Yep, absolutely right. Hugos going around the outside of Max into Stowe Corner. He manages to get that move done pretty nicely there. Tipsy pits as we have a series of fastest laps. Julian on the back of Copy. Copy is out of WOW's DRS though, so Copy's got it all to do. 3 seconds for Danny. That's the first of the front runners to get a corner cutting time penalty. All the way to lap 12 before we got our first one of those up front, which is an impressive effort at Silverstone.
I'm gonna check how quick Bance is lapping right now. He's doing high 31s, low 32s.
Yeah, well, the issue for Bance is that he's only 8 seconds ahead of WOW, who's already pitted, and as we know here, a pit stop is somewhere around 26, 27 seconds. So
if he's gonna, where's it gonna come out? Like 27 seconds. He's gonna be between Lycros and Bascadinha, which makes
like
sense.
But he's still got a bunch more laps to do on those used medium tyres, so he's going to lose a little bit more time, I would have thought.
Yes,
so it's going to be a tough one for him.
He's got it all to do in the second stint, which is going to be on the quicker red soft tyre compound, and maybe with that he could get himself back into the points. Maybe passing Lycros and then challenging Astro, who's got a penalty. Oh no, Astro has not got a penalty anymore, so maybe that's a way for Bance to get some points, but it's going to be a tough one for him. Cosy as well, basically in the same situation, but 6 seconds behind.
Yep, absolutely right. Copy using his battery to get back into DRS, and I think he is in DRS now this time, of WOW, so good stuff from Copy. In fact, is he in DRS? He's not quite. Wow, he must have been out of it for a split second then, which is pretty unfortunate. He's still got Julian, of course, all over the back of him, but Copy just did the fastest lap of the race without DRS, so obviously got some pace in that Williams. Going to be using as much battery as he can. We got Astro Boys, who's served his 5 seconds, of course, and is, as you might expect, 5 seconds off the back of Hugos.
No, that makes sense. Bascadini and Tipsy Bob are fighting. I saw Bascadini losing a spot to Costa earlier, and now the next driver has got him in his sights, and he goes fairly wide at Brooklands. Maybe now Tipsy's taking a massive swing in left field, trying to get around, and he's gonna have a massive run on Bascadini. That was a wonderful setup from Tipsy Bob. Passing there out looked, that looked like he was just playing with him, to be honest, and goes through Cops now. So P13 secured for Tipsy Bob, as Bascadini is slowly dropping off a little.
Yep, absolutely right. We got Wow being held up now by Cozzy, who's on old tyres, of course. No obligation for Cozzy to let him through. It's going to be annoying for Wow, though. Another fastest lap of the race from Copy.
Insane. Yeah, he's very quick right now. And Cozzy, certainly irritating. I mean, he doesn't even have to block the lines. It's already annoying to have him like thereabouts. But now you can see he's like, Wow has to actively drive another line. Cozzy goes to the inside. He's signaling, dude, you can go. But he still certainly cost him some time, and Copy's gonna be able to follow right. No, he's not. Cozzy actually closes the door. So now he's being a little bit of a roadblock between Wow and Copy. Same treatment for both of the front runners by Cozzy. Both of them are gonna lose a little time to them. Copy, maybe before Cops, but it's hard to pass that. He can't really. Maybe he has to follow him, and maybe if he doesn't get through here, okay, he gets through here. So no need to speculate on that. I'm sure he'll. Oh, Julian is knocking on the door though. He's running side by side with Cozzy, and he's making contact. Cozzy's sent off track. He has to rejoin a little bit later, and he's still side by side with Julian after being sent off track. Wheel banging onto the hanger straight. And Julian's got DRS. Both of them got DRS actually. Inside line for Julian. Next one is going to be Stowe, and that is Julian's corner. So Julian also passed Cozzy. Cozzy was irritating to all three of the front runners. Penalty for light cruiser. And yellow flags. Bascadini is off. Bascadini in P15 has spun out of Cops. So that is unlucky for him. Danico looks like he had less troubles getting past. Cozzy.
So Cozzy pits and puts the soft tyres on to go to the end of the race. That was a real cameo from Cozzy, a cameo performance from him, because he wasn't in the same fight as the others, but he certainly did fight them. So it's fair enough, you have the right to do that if you're in that position, but certainly it will have been, well, it was very risky for him. He almost went off in a big way at Beckett's, which he got away with. And he rejoins down in P13 on those soft tyres, and the leaders live to fight another day. It's still a 3-car train up there.
Because he certainly didn't fancy losing time. We've got another yellow flag. I don't know who that one was for. I didn't spot anyone slow. Maybe it was Bascadini and Cozzy tangling a little bit on pit exit, so they are right at the back. Max Spitz still hasn't pitted yet. I think he's basically in the provisional last position. Out of Popo though.
Yep, I think so too. Yeah, Popo is now a lap down, so his race has been a little bit miserable, I'm afraid. He's often got good pace as Popo, but certainly today not able to show it. He was put behind the 8 ball by that first lap accident and never really recovered. Spence pits from what was the lead, and he's going to put the soft tyres on for a 10-lap stint to go to the end of the race. We're missing, was that Tipsy off at Beckett's, along with Costa.
Yeah.
So something happened there. Costa, I think, missing a bunch of his front wing as well.
Yeah, Tipsy too. I think both. Yeah, Tipsy's lacking the left side of it. Oh, as on goes Costa, just goes straight there, and Tipsy has to pit. So that was, I mean, at that point, Tipsy probably will pit for the hard tires, just a second stop, and then he has to hope for a safety car. That's like the only way you can still get somewhere in this race, and that's what he's gonna do.
Yep, absolutely right. So back up front, Copy and Julian and Wow all in a very good position with 10 laps to go, and I would suspect we're not going to see a whole lot of action before the last couple of laps, because DRS is so strong at Silverstone that you just want to be in DRS. But certainly with these three, neither of them or none of them have penalties. I wonder how many warnings they have.
I'm gonna check. Copy actually trying now, and yeah, there's no resistance by Wow. I think he had a 0, he just let him through. reminds me very much of a certain race we watched together today.
Yep.
Um,
Formula E.
And yes, I mean it's basically the same dynamic. You have to use way less resources if you're behind. So I mean, if you're comfortable or confident that you can overtake the guy ahead, if you have more energy, then letting him pass doesn't do too much harm. It's still risky though. I mean, a racing driver rarely wants to just give up his position, but it might play out well for him in the long run.
Yep, absolutely right.
Gonna check.
And yeah, Wow is now in that DRS, of course. I wonder if he's going to have a counter-attack this time. It doesn't look like it. He's turned off his ERS, but so has Copy by the looks of it. So these three now all in energy conservation mode as we come towards the end of this race. We've got 10 laps to go, including this one.
And Julian and Copy both are on thin ice. They both got 2 warnings to their name. Copy has got 1 warning to his name, which is 1 more than he usually has, because he's just very good on that sort of stuff.
So Copy has 1, Wow, and Julian have 2.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, you said Copy twice, but yeah.
Oh, epic.
But yeah, so that's the situation. So Wow and Julian 2 warnings, Copy 1 warning. So the 2 behind know that they cannot make another mistake if they want to win this race. There's almost no prospect of getting 3 seconds clear of the others. As
Yugas has passed Pretorius through Stowe. That was an unexpected move for me. I didn't really have an eye on that. Both of them, of course, with the 5-second time penalty, so they are actually fighting for this position. If they are holding each other up, then Astro might come through in the standing, or like in the final results. But for now, Yugas is in P5, which is a good performance from him. Certainly encouraging his return into Tier 1 racing at SLR.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing very good performance here. And someone else who's put in a good performance today is Bant, who looks like he is going to get some points in this one. He's in P9. He's homing in on the back of Light Cruiser as well on those soft tyres. So maybe Bant can get a little bit more than he's got at the moment. But certainly what he's got at the moment is not nothing. He looks like he's going to get some points.
Yeah, I thought he was going to struggle, but he got past 2 drivers, and I quite frankly don't know who that was, because Light Cruiser's in the points paying positions as well. But he got past some people, and now he is on course for 2 points. He's been struggling a lot recently when he even, like, he got to drive rarely because of his job, and now and when he got to drive, he oftentimes had like a crash or got taken out, made mistakes, something like that. Really got points, cost him with the fastest lap of the race. That's interesting.
It's a glory run on the soft tyres.
Yeah, but this time, Bant's a very good performance from him indeed. Maybe he can even take that fastest lap, because just like Costa, he is also on the soft tyres. Maybe if he conserves some battery, he might be able to like go for it and try and get a fastest lap in. Cozzy has passed Gary, so Cozzy also worked his way up into the points. Gary's dropped out. That was probably not the toughest of moves, because Gary's on 16 lap up mediums. He had to stop very early on, and
yeah, Gary's going to have to pit again, isn't he? Probably.
Yeah, he does, I'm sure.
So no points for Gary by the looks of it, unfortunately. After that first lap incident, of course, he was one of the victims of the Astro Boys Ocean, or yeah, I'm not sure they were the same incident. They might have been separate incidents, but certainly he was a victim of an incident on lap 1. 3 leaders running in very close formation at the moment, but none of them particularly interested in trying to make any sort of move.
Maybe now, I mean, no, you can just see them getting closer, and it's funny to go through the telemetry of the 3 of them and just see how all of them are running 0 ERS.
Yeah.
They're just waiting to pounce, basically. You want to have your battery as high as you can. The one who's doing the best job of it right now is Wow. He has got 80% left in his battery. The others are on 60 and 40 respectively. So he's the one with the... Yeah, he's the one with the most power in his battery right now. I wonder when he's going to put it to use.
Yep, well, it'll be the last couple of laps, I would have thought. Because, yeah, these laps are just all about ticking the laps off. They're all about staying in that DRS. Because if you're in DRS, you get free lap time. And that's what Wow and Julian are in at the moment. That's the situation that they are in. Yeah, Wow's battery is basically full at the moment. Poppy on 60%, Wow on almost 100%, Julian on about 50%. I'm sure they'll all be relatively full towards the end of this race. We've still got 6 laps after this one. Danny having another very good race in P4. Doesn't look like he's going to get a podium at the moment, but certainly right now he's in a very good position to get some really good points. He's got Hugo's 2 seconds behind in that Alfa Romeo, and Pretorius clinging onto the back of that Alfa Romeo in P6.
I've got to wonder, if you are Wow in this situation... Yugos and Pretorius are actually running side by side through Stowe, so Yugos is ahead again. Maybe Pretorius with a late lunge, no, he just has a little bit of a look. Nothing doing there. Yugos takes a wider line to get a better acceleration onto the main straight. And looks like he's safe for now. I think, yeah, I was gonna say something about the leaders, but these two are not giving me the chance to. It looks like Pretorius had a better run through the first corner. Now he's trying to outbrake Yugos on the outside. Can he swing it round there? Now he's got the inside line in that tight corner. Yugos lets him, gives him enough space, but also carries the momentum around the outside to keep his position. But now the DRS is going to be open. Engine mode 4 for both of them, but Yugos' battery is about to be half empty. Pretorius keeps a nail on the halfway point of the track. Doesn't give him much space into Lafayette. They're still side by side. Who's going to get the better run onto the old start-finish straight? I think it is Pretorius for now. And now the next one is going to be Cops. And I think someone has to be responsible here and go out of it. And Yugos slots in behind Pretorius. So Pretorius got the move done. We've got a I think Costa off track in Beckett's. And now Yugos' job is to stay close to Pretorius. Please don't rejoin Costa. Okay, thank you. Poor run through Chapel by Yugos. So he's going to struggle to try what he did a lot. And he's actually going for a late plunge. He's putting his nose in there. What can Pretorius do there? Still running side by side.
Yugos almost spun, very nearly spun on the exit of Stowe. He did manage to catch it, but my goodness, that was close. These two are having a ding-dong battle. They're losing time to Danny in front, but they're certainly providing us
also losing
with
time
plenty of entertainment. To Astra
losing time
boys.
to Astra right now. They're both behind Astra, so Astra is in provisional P5 because because he doesn't have a penalty anymore. So he's, in the end, he's lucky that he's got a service penalty. What I was trying to communicate way earlier, or do I have to have an eye on this battle? What I was trying to communicate is the fact, if I'm Wow in this situation, wouldn't I just like try and burn my ERS to get through, and then maybe try and just drain the others off ERS, because he's got way more, and as long as he's not gaining any, the others are catching up, so to speak.
So like I mean, it's a question of whether you can do that. It's a question of whether you can do that, and if you don't do that and you fail, then you have no ERS and you're in a bad position. So
fair. Also, he doesn't know how the others are doing.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how much the others have. Certainly, Copy is struggling at the moment. He's got enough for maybe one lap of real sort of hot lap running, but not much more than that.
That's why you should watch our streams in the background. Then you always know. Oh no, Bans!
Oh, Bans is disconnected. Oh, that's really unfortunate. If he can get back in quickly, then he will...
Yeah, he'll...
can you throw him an invite just in case?
I'll do that, yeah. Sure.
Because, yeah, if he's able to get back in the car, he's got 12 seconds over Cozzy at the moment, so if he's able to do that, he can still get P9. Four laps to go in this one. Wow, right on the back of Copy, but not particularly interested in doing anything other than staying on the back, using the slipstream, using the ERS. The DRS. not using the ERS. The Cops, they go. For the 23rd time. After this, we have lap 24, lap 25, and lap 26. And then is when the fireworks are going to happen.
What do you do if you're WoW here? I mean, do you really want to just have a single shot? Because if he's gonna get a bad run on the one lap that counts, then he's absolutely screwed.
Yeah, but if you pass the lap before, then you're in a vulnerable position. So I think you have to. I think you have to do that. I think you have to. There's going to be a little bit of jockeying for position, I think, between those two, as Hugos tries to go around the outside of Pretorius. Didn't manage to do it immediately, but looks like he has got his nose ahead as they head into club.
Oh! Pretorius got his nose ahead, and now he has to take a tighter line to give Hugos some space on the outside, but he's done that, and they are running side by side through Village. I mean, but surely Julian must try his hardest to get through, because, the prime position is probably entering the hangar. WoW is actually going for the lead on Copy here. WoW has gone through the inside, down the inside in Brooklyn, and he's actually passed him into the lead. So now WoW is in the hot seat with everyone chasing behind him. So maybe he listened to my totally great strategy analysis and just destroyed his own race. I mean, it's your own risk. You're gonna listen to me. I don't know.
Pretorius and Hugo's still battling through Luffield. Hugo's had his nose in front there, but decided not to go for it. And Bantz's AI has, in fact, pitted his car. So that's the end of his race, unfortunately, which is a real shame. It would have been points for Bantz.
But they pitted him? What?
Yeah, it pitted him. 3 seconds for Hugo's as well. And that effectively ends that battle.
And, if I'm Julian here, I have to get past Copy. You want to be in P2 entering the hangar straight for the final time. Or maybe the reason why I was charging now is the fact that he thinks maybe he knows he's got my battery, maybe someone is watching the stream for him. So he tries his, so he thinks I can run to the end on the highest modes, the others can't. So maybe that's the reason he's decided to go now, but it looked very deliberate. Like, I don't think Copy just lifted off and let him through. I think WoW deliberately attacked Copy and got past.
Yeah, the other two, I mean, they don't have a lot of battery. They do have the DRS though, of course. So WoW is going to be using everything he possibly can. Copy and Julian homing in on the back of that Renault though. This is the last lap but one here at Silverstone, and we have a three-way shootout. None of these three have penalties. This is a straight fight for the win. We still think, well, we know in fact that WoW and Julian both have 2 warnings. We're not sure about Copy, but certainly
he's got one.
He doesn't have a penalty, still one. So that's the situation. None of them can afford to make a mistake here as we enter the Beckett complex on the penultimate lap.
Pretorius and Hugos, and they almost make contact into Cops, but they don't. And now they're running side by side towards Maggots and Beckett's. I don't know if the leaders probably don't do anything. So, Pretorius gets a penalty as well, so it's for position again.
So Pretorius making a big mistake. He's going to be passed here though. He's out of VRS though. He's got no battery.
Yeah. No battery for him, so his car's gonna break down halfway on the straight, but it's enough to spin Hugos! And Hugos has roundly got hooked on the back of Pretorius there, and he goes the other way around, so he might even drop him behind Light Cruiser, who's now coming up towards. So he has to hurry if he wants to get past the sweet Alfa Romeo. It all ends in tears. I think Pretorius left him very little space there. Might have just been a racing instead of. Wait, why is Copy out of the fight?
Something happened up front. Yeah, we'll watch this replay, and that's the replay of Hugo spinning. But let's go back up front then, as again, I can't quite get the thing sorted out. But yeah, something happened there. Copy either made a mistake or got hit or something like that. We didn't see exactly what. So the battle for the win now is between WoW and Julian, neither of whom, of course, have a penalty. And Julian is a little way off the back, and he's not using his battery at the moment. He doesn't have that much to use.
I think
so much.
WoW's got this.
I think
WoW's got this.
I think he's too far ahead. He's coming up to... Is Tipsy Bob going to give him DRS? Is that... No, he's not quite in range.
No, too far. But still, he's got 50% of his battery, and Julian is going to get closer and closer, but not close enough. I don't know what happened there, but it certainly also disrupted the run of Julian, and so he's not close enough, and I hope that was a clean move, because Wow has got this in the bag, I'm pretty sure, unless something ridiculous happens. Which I'm not going to try and jinx, and
we
yeah,
need to
indeed,
get a penalty in the last corner, but that's not going to happen.
Nothing ridiculous happens. Oh, the fastest lap's flying in, but Wow takes victory in Silverstone, followed by Copy. Oh, Julian got a penalty?
Julian must have got a penalty. Yeah, we didn't see that, but he must have done. So Julian getting a penalty on the last couple of laps, which we missed. There are the two Mercedes finishing in formation. Astro Boys finishing ahead because of Pretorius' penalties. Hugo's crossing the line. P7, but he might lose out to Light Cruiser with the penalties that he's got.
Oh,
And he does.
Yeah, so down into P8 it is for Hugos. Very unfortunate, he was fighting for P5 all race, and then the penalty happened, and yeah, that put him out of the contention. Popo Gamer gets himself the fastest lap of the race, so no fastest lap point for anyone. We could yellow flags on the final lap, but that's probably... Oh yeah, it's
Cosy spinning on the front straight, yeah. So,
Cascadinho gets across. It's such a shame. I mean, yeah, as a commentator, you always try to keep up and like try and calculate the risk of missing something. And I thought we were safe for the top 3. And I thought
yeah,
we could
I thought
have...
we were as well. We didn't see what happened with Copy. We'll have to get one of them into the channel to find out exactly what happened there. But whatever it was, Copy certainly losing out in that battle. Yeah, it was while we were watching a replay of the Hugo spin as well, so a little bit difficult to juggle. But yeah, what a race! Absolutely right, Wimpy. In chat. And Stephen Carabella's absolutely right as well. Excellent race from Wow and a very solid race from Danny. So good stuff from the front 3. And good stuff from Danny as well. Hugo's didn't get the result that he would have wanted in his return, but certainly he showed really good pace. And that incident at the end with Pretorius was quite unfortunate. Fastest lap, by the way, goes to Julian. He did it on the last lap. A bunch of drivers did the fastest lap on the last lap. But Julian is the one who walks away with that extra point. But only on the 3rd step of the podium, which will be a little bit disappointing for him.
Wow, yeah, I mean, that was quite the amazing fight for the victory. In the end, unfortunately, was kind of decided off screen, but yeah, so I hope everything was clean there. We're gonna see about that, of course.
Yeah.
So the question now is, who do you think deserves driver of the day? Because yeah, I think you should go first, which has nothing to do with the fact that I'm undecided.
Well, the leaders have all gotten themselves drivers of the day multiple times now, and I just wonder, because I just want to throw something in. I'm not necessarily nominating this person as driver of the day, but I certainly think they're at least an honourable mention. And disconnecting right at the end, being very ill and really struggling with the car and with F1 in the weeks previous, but a very good performance today from Bance. I was really impressed. I don't really know what he was doing in qualifying, to be honest. He was in the he was on the medium tyres for his fast run, but certainly in terms of the race, I think he drove a fantastic race.
He's trying to grind for driver of the days. And just get a bad qualifying and then... Unfortunately, Light Cruiser gained more positions than him, so he's out of luck.
No. No.
I don't know. It's like, it's tough. It's the same problem we basically had all season, isn't it? Like the fact that the leaders are like so, yeah, convincing in their performances. They don't ever put a wheel wrong, and like they are always delivering like maximum pace, no mistakes, great fights, and then so that's why we have basically always picked the winner. the question is, I don't know, did anyone like really stand out? I mean, there might be conditions under which bands would be in the running for it. I mean, he did, of course, Driver of the Day is there to reward like exceptional performances and not the best performance. The race winner is there to reward the best performance.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I certainly think there's something to be said for giving it to one of the leaders, and I think Wow probably had that race in his back pocket for most of it. So maybe giving it to him might be the thing to do. I don't know. It might. It's your call.
But also like, I'm also thinking like considering a lot of other people who were just like fairly impressive. Like for example, Yugos, just because it's his return, and he was there until right at the end where he unfortunately spun it. I don't think it was his fault. I did only see it once though, and it was like all in the heat of the moment, so I don't know. But like, he's maybe worth considering. I also thought about Astro, but in this race was also like kind of unspectacular, and he just waited for the others to basically eliminate themselves through penalties. But it's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would. I think I would nominate bands. Yeah, I don't know. We could. I think if you're going to give it to a leader, I think you have to give it to WoW.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if you're going to give it to somebody else, then yeah, Hugo's is a decent shout as well. But Hugo's, to be honest, got himself involved in a little bit of an unnecessary battle at the end there, and down he went. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Let's bring our race winner in while we mull over driver of the day. Let's bring in our race winner, Wow, who I just mentioned a moment ago. You look like you had that race in your back pocket for most of it, to be completely honest. You had more battery than everyone else. You were in a really, really good position. How was it from your side?
It was pretty good, except for the start, I guess, where I got overtaken for a corner or two. But did I really have the most battery out of the top three? Because I was running like 40% or below until like lap 18 or 19, where I let Kobe pass.
Well, after you, I was talking about the sort of the few laps before the end of the race.
Okay.
Because like lap 22, lap 23, lap 24, you pretty much had a full battery, and the others were still at like 40 or 50%.
I tried to save some battery behind Kobe because he's a quite fast driver, and with the DRS here at Silverstone and also the slipstream, it's pretty easy to stay with someone. So yeah. So for the rest of it, I felt pretty confident all the race. It was a bit how should I say? I was a bit nervous with them behind me so close, but I guess I knew they wouldn't overtake me until like the last few laps, or try to overtake. But it was a really good race.
Yeah, we saw you sort of sprint away at the last lap or the last couple of laps when you knew you could use your battery. What happened? We didn't catch it on camera. What happened that dropped Copy back? Did he make a mistake, or was there any sort of contact?
I didn't look back, but I
do know. He has just written it in chat. So he said he just lost the rear in turn 1 on the last lap.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
He probably rode the curb or something, and that unsettled his car, and he just went. I mean, it's old mediums, like 16 lap old mediums, riding a curb, full throttle. It happens, and that probably put him out of contention there.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did.
Well, I would have guessed he had a little battle with Julian in that corner, but okay.
No, looks like he lost it by himself. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, Julian also had a penalty that we didn't know about until he crossed the line. Did you know about it before?
No, I didn't check for penalties at all because that just makes you feel too comfortable, I guess, and you want to stay focused and not too relaxed.
Yeah. So I mean, none of you had any penalties as far as we knew, but I guess Julian must have picked one up
I got pretty close the last lap because there I picked up my second warning, so
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
close, but yeah, no penalty.
Yeah, good stuff though. I mean, another win. Is that your third for the season? It's,
Yeah, it is. It
yeah.
is.
So third for the season. I'm just going to bring up the.
Most out of anyone now.
Yeah, I think it
Pretty
is.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We mentioned last week in Austria because you had a little bit of a difficult race last week in Austria. You tend to either win or crash.
I noticed
or
that trend as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on here. 12-2, DNF 1, DNS 1, 7.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, pretty funny, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hero 0, basically.
But yeah, that puts you up to third in the championship. So you're still behind Copy and Julian, still some way behind Copy and Julian.
Yeah.
Are you thinking that maybe there's a possibility? I mean, it's a shortened season as well, isn't it? This season, so there's only 7 rounds left.
I don't know how many points am I behind them at
Let
the moment.
me figure it. So Copy finished second today, so you gained 7 on Copy. You were 66 behind him. You're now 59 behind him.
Okay, well that's quite a margin, yeah. Because I'm not there next week.
Ah, that's a shame.
Yeah, for the German Grand Prix as well.
Oh, for
But
the German Grand Prix. Oh,
Yeah.
It's okay.
But,
you had a German Grand Prix last week, so you know that's fine.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to the German Grand Prix in the Hungaroring then.
Me too.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us and congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time in that case.
Yeah, see you. Hopefully.
Yep. See you then. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully in the positive car.
All right. That was wow. And we're going to bring Danny in now as well. And Danny had another very, very good race. We've spoken to you a couple of times in recent weeks, Danny, and you've put in some really, really good performances recently. This is the 4th race in the row you finished in the top 4.
Nice.
How was the race for you? I mean, it was one of those. I guess it was one of those where you were sort of in no man's land. But just from your perspective, how did you feel during the race?
I felt good until the pit stop happened.
Yeah, you lost DRS. I mean, were you kicking yourself that you didn't
Pit.
either pit with the others or pit a lap
Yes.
earlier?
Didn't pit a lap earlier.
Yeah.
I was with the others.
Yeah.
It really messed my race up. It was awful.
Yeah. No, it put you a long way behind. And yeah, once you lose DRS, you basically can't ever get it back, especially with the pace of these guys. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was rough. But I mean, do you reckon you could have given them something to think about if you'd been in that DRS for the whole time?
Probably not. Probably just sat there for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it would have been really tough. But yeah, I mean, just such good performances in recent weeks. So 4th, 3rd, 3rd, 4th. I mean, is this sort of come out of the blue for you? Are you surprised at this run of form? Have you been working hard and sort of trying to improve your pace?
I've been trying to improve my pace.
Yeah, I guess.
To be honest,
Sorry, go on.
just trying to improve because the first 5 races were awful. So
Yeah, you had a couple of DNFs, and then you finished in the points in 2 of them, which is no mean feat in SLR. But yeah, these have been some really good performances. It's been really good to see.
yeah, it's definitely good for me, but it needs to go 1 or 2 more next.
Yeah, maybe the first or second that's just a little bit elusive at the moment. How are you feeling about what we got
Germany,
next? Hockenheim, yeah. Not so good, or
Not so good for the penalties, probably. Turn 1's gonna kill me.
yeah, I don't think you're going to be the only one if you do get penalties there. It's certainly because there's so much time to gain, but you know,
So much
time to lose. Exactly. So, yeah, Germany and then Hungary. So you got a couple of tracks coming out. Hungary isn't so bad on the penalties. I guess it's just that one left-hander.
Yeah. just that one.
Well, good stuff. Congratulations on the 4th place. Really good points again. That puts you up to 6th in the championship, I think. So yeah, good stuff. That's pretty good. I'm going to drag you back into the gentleman's lounge, but yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
That was Danny Co, and the only thing he finishes quicker than a hot lap is answering your questions. let's freaking Astro for the end.
No,
as well.
That's okay. That's okay. we don't need drivers to wax lyrical about their races. We just want to know how they feel.
Yeah, not everyone needs to be me talking for 4 hours. Just give me one word.
Yeah, we also want to know how Astro Boys feels, because that was an up and down race for you. You had that 5-second penalty from the lap 1 crash. You were on the back of Pretorius. You served the penalty, but then of course Pretorius and Hugo's fighting. And they got penalties as well in the pit lane, so you got 5th place in the end. So how are you feeling after that one?
I don't really know, honestly. Like, qualifying again, I bottled. For my penultimate run, I would have got pole, but I decided to pit, and then on my last run, I missed out by 1 second, so couldn't even start the lap.
Oh no, that's a shame.
Yeah, after my first lap, I wanted to go into the pits, but I ran out of fuel mid-lap, so I lost a lot of time there. Second run, I spun out of the loop, so I hope you didn't get it on camera, because it was pretty embarrassing.
No, I don't think we did. I think you're
Thanks
you're
God.
on that one. I was trying to figure out how the replay worked, and yeah, that was. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff happening there.
Yeah. In the race, yeah, as you told, I was trying to get an undercut because I completely forgot about the penalty.
Oh yeah.
Then I pitted, and I was like, "What are you doing? What?" Then I was like, "Oh no, here we go again." So
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, what happened at the start on lap 1? I mean, presumably it was just like random contact, and you got, you got a penalty.
Actually on my screen I didn't even have contact. I didn't feel anything.
Oh,
I just saw like I don't know, somebody hit Pretorius into turn 3, and I avoided it, so I had to go wide, and then randomly the game said I made contact with not really sure who, and I got a 5-second penalty for that. So
yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate. It's just one of those random penalties that you can't do anything about.
I can't even get it removed, so
No, unfortunately, because you served it in the pits, so yeah, we can't remove that, unfortunately. But I mean, still P5. I mean, you got some good points at the end of that, given your difficulties in qualifying, given that penalty. I mean, that's a pretty good point total for you.
yeah, I mean, I was on pace, but just couldn't deliver it because, of course, my name is Astro and I'm never lucky.
Oh, well, you've certainly delivered more than once this season so far, and I'm sure you will again before the end of the season. So
yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, absolutely. Thanks for talking to us, and
thank
commiserations on the P5. It was a good result anyway, but oops. Oh no, I've dragged him into the wrong channel. Let's put him in. Oh, he's disconnected anyway. Let's very quickly speak to our 3rd place finisher today, Julian, who got that penalty at the end. We didn't see you get that penalty, and it was a surprise to us when you crossed the line and you had the penalty. Do you know where you got that penalty? Was it the last couple of laps?
I mean, of course I know it because it popped up on the screen.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair enough.
we were following in the DRS all the time, and I saw Copy and WoW going wide a few times, and I accidentally did it once or twice as well. And of course, I'm the one that gets the warning, and both of them didn't. So
is that Stowe at the end of the lap where you can?
Yeah.
You sometimes you can go wide and sometimes you can't. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, we were following in the DRS, so even if you did gain anything, you would have lost it what you gained immediately after. So it's just really pointless, and I'm really frustrated by the warning.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you probably can't appeal it, so I'm not gonna bother. But if someone tells me it's possible, then I will. But
yeah, no, I think policy is that we don't take those off, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So
but yeah, it does suck.
I mean, they should have told us before the race.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things because.
I mean, we know that we can do that, but if FIA tells us to not do it, then people won't. Like, they're always gonna exploit it. If they get told not to, they don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know you're taking a risk if you do it, and it's one of those things that other drivers
Yeah,
took that risk, got away with it.
taking the
you know,
risk because others were doing it. So.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just unfortunate. But I mean, in terms of your race, otherwise, I mean, you had, as ever, really good pace. You were right up there. What happened in qualifying as well? Because there was an incident there in qualifying that you got an early retirement.
Sorry, I was just burping from my Red Bull.
Product
so
placement.
I was really annoyed with the lag in the lobby because I was driving with 40 or 50 FPS for most of the entire evening, and I wanted to type a message in Discord, so I moved to the side and just stood still there to type it. But I did it because people, when they let other people pass, they do the same. They are gonna stand still there and wait for everyone to pass. So I thought it was okay to do it, but then just Ocean Chief just slammed into my rim. I was like, what is happening here?
Oh dear. That's,
I mean, I thought it was okay, but apparently it wasn't. So.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I mean, you're still at the front, and you're still in that DRS chain. I mean, the tactics were pretty clear from what we could see. What was going through your mind? I mean, just like save battery, be in DRS, attack the last couple of laps.
I mean, I really tried to attack on the last laps, but I think they were running one less wing setting than I was, so I was running overtake on the entire straight, but I just couldn't get anywhere near them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I mean, still P3, so you're still in the championship fight. I think you got fastest lap as well. So you only actually lost 2 points to Copy. So 26 points now. How are you feeling about Hockenheim and Hungary coming up?
I suck at those tracks, so I already congratulated Copy on the championship because I don't. There's not many great tracks for me coming up. The only ones that I can really have a shot at are Italy, Japan, maybe Russia if I practice and don't get disqualified.
Russia's not in the calendar, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, whatever. Then Brazil. That definitely is right, Brazil.
I'm pretty sure Brazil is, yeah.
Yeah, so then Brazil. So only 3 tracks I can really have a good shot at winning, and the others I'll have to see. But I'm not too optimistic for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, well, fingers crossed, and we'll hope for a championship battle after all, despite the fact that it's a bit of an uphill battle. But we know you've got pace, we know you've got talent, so hopefully that happens. But congratulations on the podium today, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Yep.
And that was Julian de Rijk, and that is our broadcast. We still need to decide who we're going to give driver of the day to, don't we?
Oh god. Well, I think I would have thought about it in the past 20 minutes, but I didn't.
Well,
I'm still, I don't know. Like, I still kind of want to give it to you guys.
I mean, he gave us lots of entertainment, didn't he? He certainly gave us lots of entertainment with that battle with Pretorius. So yeah, okay, let's do that then.
Yeah, just the fact that I feel, I mean, in the past races he couldn't be bothered to practice really and just dipped into tier 2 and like had a little bit of fun there and was like good there. He didn't win or anything, and now he's gone into tier 1 and he's trying. And the first race he does, he ends up fighting for P5 and just like, yeah, he was constantly fighting that race, and until like 2 laps from the end, last lap, 2 laps from the end, it was all going well, and then I think the incident was probably a racing incident, not his fault. So like, I don't think we can blame him for that really, and I think it's a very solid comeback to SLR racing. So I think that's justifiable.
Yep, absolutely. Driver of the day is Mr. Bugoz, who was in the Alfa Romeo for his Tier 1 debut for this season. So congratulations to him. And that is going to do it for our broadcast. Couple of housekeeping notes for you for the next couple of weeks. Remember, of course, that we have the Extreme Rivals 8 tournament coming up on the 13th of March. That's 2 weeks yesterday. So join us for that. And of course, we've got the Cystic Fibrosis event organised by Joel, and that is going to be the weekend after that on the 21st of March. So join us for those 2 events. Of course, we've got SLR next week, we've got 2 SRL tomorrow as well, Tier 2 and Tier 1. So join us for all of those here on EGL. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.